Hello children, welcome back to my channel. I am now dealing with physics, SSC physics, chemical equations. The topic is chemical equation. So in this very short answers, that is 2 marks questions I am discussing. First one is balance the equation, the following chemical equation. You need to balance. They have given this aluminium Al plus Fe2O3 iron oxide gives Al2O3 and iron Fe. So here, while balancing, what you have to do, whatever number of elements that are there on LHS, the same should be there in RHS. That is called balancing. So if you see in this, aluminium on the left side is having only one element, but here it has got two. Two atoms are combined here. So to make it aluminium as 2, you have to write a multiple like this coefficient. We will call it as a multiple. You have to write 2 here. And then now when you talk about iron 2 here, but iron only 1 here on the RHS. So you have to write here again 2 so that it will be balanced. And then oxygen. Oxygens 3 are on the left side, 3 are on the right side. So no problem, oxygen is totally balanced. So 2Al plus Fe2O3 gives Al2O3 plus 2Fe. This is the balanced equation. Now the second one, balance the following equation. Sodium plus water, it gives sodium hydroxide and hydrogen. So left side sodium is 1, right side also it is 1, so no problem. Hydrogens 2 are here, but hydrogens 2 plus 1 here, 3 are there. So to make first to balance this, what you have to do is, you have to take 2 as a multiple here. If you multiply this 2 NaOH by 2, what is happening here? Sodiums are 2 here, but here only 1 left side. So it is taken by 2 here. And water, see, when you are taking 2 here, 2 into H, here 2 hydrogens plus 2 hydrogens, total 4. So when you write a multiple of 2 here, 2 2s are 4 hydrogens. So hydrogen got balanced. And oxygen also, here 2 oxygens are there, here also 2 oxygens are there. That is how the equation is balanced. Third question. If you keep an iron piece in solid state, copper sulfate crystals. See, copper sulfate crystals, actually copper sulfate light blue color solution also is available. But here it is taken in copper sulfate crystals, solid one it is. Does it get any reaction? Give reasons. If iron pieces are kept in solid state copper sulfate crystals, no change occurs as the splitting of copper sulfate into ions will not take place. See, when copper sulfate is a combination of copper, sulfur and oxygen. So here the splitting of copper ions and sulfate ions, actually it should differentiate, but to do that it should have a liquid medium. Since it is a solid medium, it cannot split into ions. So when it cannot split into ions, iron cannot react with that. That is the reason we will say that there will not be any change in the iron pieces when they are placed in solid state of copper sulfate crystals. Next question. Write the equation for the chemical decomposition reaction of silver chloride in the presence of sunlight. Decomposition. Decomposition means splitting of the molecule. Silver chloride, when it is placed under the sunlight, it gets converted into, it splits into silver and chlorine. Chlorine in the form of gas, it will be exposed. And see, here when you are balancing, chlorine 2 are there. So here also to make chlorine 2, you are multiplying it by 2. While doing so, silver is becoming 2 here. So here only one silver is there. This multiple of 2 will balance the chemical equation. Fifth question. Silver nitrate AgNO3 plus NaCl, sodium chloride. It gives sodium silver chloride AgCl, silver chloride, and then NaNO2, sodium nitrate. Aqueous. Aqueous, AQ means aqueous, that is liquid form it is. S means solid form. So maybe it is actually, this symbol indicates that it is precipitation. Arrow mark down, it is precipitation. Silver chloride is a precipitation. Okay, AQ means aqueous solution, means the solid dissolved in distilled water. Distilled water, how do you get, children? When water is boiled, the vapor is condensed to get a liquid. That is the purest form of liquid, because vapor eliminates all the impurities that are there in the water. So that kind of liquid, that kind of water, we call it as aqueous water, aqueous solution. So when a solid is dissolved in that water, distilled water, we call it as aqueous solution. So silver nitrate, which is aqueous solution, is treated with sodium chloride. It gives rise to silver chloride and sodium nitrate, which is also aqueous in nature. So next question, ferrous sulfate, FeS, solid it is, with sulfuric acid, H2SO for sulfuric acid, is giving rise to ferrous sulfate, and which is also solid, and high H2S, so that is hydrogen sulfide, which is a gas that is liberated. What do the arrow marks up and down indicate? That is the question here. Down arrow indicates precipitation formation, up arrow indicates formation of gas. Why duff rises swells when it is treated with yeast? You might have heard, children, in your house, you might have seen the idli dough, your mother, which she kept idli dough. If it is kept outside of the freeze, or sometimes even in the freeze, sometimes it pushes the lid and it comes out, the white matter comes out of it. That is called swelling of the duff. The duff bulges. It is because of the formation of certain bacteria actually in it. So this bulging will be done more when yeast is added to it. Mostly your cakes and all are made with this yeast. It swells because of that yeast only. So why duff rises, it swells. Why it swells when yeast is added to it? It is the question. Duff, when treated with yeast, oxidation of the sugars takes place, releasing carbon dioxide. See, this duff contains carbohydrates. Carbohydrates contain sugars. So when yeast is added there, oxidation process takes place, because yeast gets food from that sugars. So oxidation process takes place. This oxidation liberates carbon dioxide gas, and this carbon dioxide pushes the duff up. That is how the duff will be raised. Carbon dioxide rises the duff. On addition, dilute hydrochloric acid to copper oxide powder. The solution formed is blue-green. Write the new compound formed. See, copper oxide. Dilute, see, copper oxide, when it is treated with hydrochloric acid, HCl, it is giving rise to copper chloride. The solution is blue-green in color. It is copper chloride with water. This is, they are asking you to write the compound formed. This is the equation. Copper oxide plus HCl gives what? It gives copper chloride, CuCl2 plus water. So balancing is done here, children, CuCl2. So to make it chlorine. So in this equation, copper left side 1, here also is 1, oxygen 1, here also right side oxygen is 1, hydrogen is multiplied by 2, here you said coefficient is written as 2. So 2 hydrogens here, 2 hydrogens here, 2 chlorines are here, 2 chlorines are here. So this is how it's a balanced equation we got. So on the addition of dilute hydrochloric acid to copper oxide, the solution formed is blue-green. This is bluish-green in color. Write the new compound formed. This is the new compound that is formed. Copper chloride is the new compound that is formed. Next, eighth one, what is balance of the following equation? C3H8 plus O2 gives CO2 and H2O. This is the equation. See here children, carbon 3 are there. Here only one carbon is there, so it is multiplied by 3 to make it 3. But hydrogens 8 are there. Here you have only 2. So when you multiply it by 4, 4 2s are 8, even hydrogens got satisfied. Here 8 hydrogens, here 8 hydrogens, here 3 carbons, here 3 carbons, they got satisfied. Now when you talk about oxygens, oxygens are only 2. See here, only 2 oxygens are there. But here 2 plus 1, 3 oxygens are there. So to make oxygens as equal, already you have done 4 here. So here right side 4 oxygens are there, and here 3. 3 2s are 6 plus 4, 10. So to make 10 here, oxygen is multiplied by 5, 5 2s are 10. I hope I am clear children with this equation. I will explain. See, carbons are 3 here, here it is only 1. So it is multiplied by 3. So that carbons are balanced. Hydrogens are 8 here, here only 2 are there. So to make hydrogen 8, it is multiplied by 4. It is needed 4. So while doing so, we have balanced carbon and hydrogen, but we have not balanced oxygen. So when you say oxygen's right side, because you made 3, 3 2s are 6 here and 4 here, total 6 plus 4, 10 oxygens are there in right side. But left side there are only 2. So multiply it by 5. They take 5 as the coefficient. You are getting 10 oxygens. This is how the balancing is done. Ninth, what happens if iron particles are exposed to moisture? Write the chemical equation to represent that reaction. If iron particles are exposed to moisture, rust will be formed. You might have seen children, if you keep your cycle out in rainy season, the cycle gets rusted in the parts where it is not painted. Even the doors, windows, gates, they all get rusted when the painting is not possible. So that is what rusting formation takes place, because they all are made up of iron. Iron, when it comes in contact with moist air, means air with more amount of water vapor in it, then definitely it gives rise to rust, the reddish color. So the solid, very tough iron becomes very easily broken substance. Means just with the 2 fingers, if you crush it with the 2 fingers, it becomes a powder. So delicate it becomes after getting in contact with moisture, because it is forming, it is getting rusted. So if iron particles are exposed to moisture, rust forms on it. So the chemical equation, see, iron with oxygen with hydrogen ion, which is there in the water. So this when react, it forms of iron ion plus water. So here 2 irons are there, means balancing is done here like this. Here 2 irons, here 2 irons, and oxygens 2 are there. So to make oxygens 2, water is multiplied by 2. When water is multiplied by 2, you are getting 2 into 2, 4 hydrogens. So 4 hydrogens, 4 multiple here. Oxygens 2 are here, oxygens 2 are here, hydrogens 2. Here it is because it is only an ion. To make it 2, it has to be multiplied by 2. 2 iron and 2 iron. This is balanced equation. What would happen if chemical equation is not balanced? What will happen if chemical equation is not balanced? It would not obey law of conservation. What is law of conservation, children? Law of conservation is matter can neither be created nor be destroyed. It can only be changed from one form to another form. Solid may become liquid, liquid may become gas. But the matter composition will be like that only. Till now, no matter is added in the universe, no matter is removed from the universe. It only changes its forms. So that is called law of conservation. Law of conservation of energy is there. Law of conservation of mass is there. So conservation means that. So here we are talking about chemicals. So if chemical equation is not balanced, it would not obey law of conservation. The number of atoms in the reactant side will not be equal to number of atoms in the product side. When it is not obeying the law, see, here itself in this equation, when you see, left side elements, right side elements are not balancing. So they are not equal in nature. So if you want to make them equal, it is definitely you need to go for balancing the equation. So the number of atoms in the reactant side will not be equal to number of atoms in the product side. Hence, balance is needed to get equal number of atoms on both atoms both in reactants and product sides. So these are short answers, children, very short, 2 marks questions. Please go through it. The next part I will be doing in the next class.